Salute Black Goose TV family. What's good with it? I got another reaction video for y'all, and this one I am very excited to be doing. And the reason why I'm excited is because it's all about the return of one of my favorite fighters in Tevin Farmer. Now, if you are not an OG of the Black Goose TV family, you wouldn't even know how much I got just so much admiration, respect, and just straight love for Tevin Farmer, man. Tevin Farmer is a beast of a fighter, a beast of a boxer, in my opinion. When he was doing his thing on a consistent level, because he's been out about 2 years now, for personal reasons, he never really disclosed it, or at least maybe I just never saw the article or the interview where he said why he was out. But in my opinion, when he was doing his thing and he was making them title defenses on his way up, he was the closest thing, in my opinion, to Floyd Mayweather. And I'm talking about in the sense of defense. His defense was impeccable. When this brother really got on the roll, when this brother was really in the zone and he was in the matrix, god damn, like it was always appalling to me. It was shocking when people would praise Lomachenko for his angles and the things and the beautiful display of boxing that he would do, but no one would say anything about Tevin Farmer. Now, two completely different styles. But what I mean by praising something that is stylistically very pleasing to the eye in the art of boxing, the same praise you give to Lomachenko, you could easily give to Tevin Farmer. And if you guys think that's cap, then you just don't know about this man. You need to go watch your shit. You need to go educate yourself, man. Watch this man, because his defense is a thing of beauty. It's absolutely beautiful. And I was heartbroken when, after almost like 6-7 months after the loss to Coco Diaz, we didn't hear anything from him. And I was like, okay, well, maybe just, taking some time. And then over time, it was just like, I don't think this nigga gonna come back. Literally. I'm like, that loss happened 2-3 years ago. And I don't know why he ended up taking such a long hiatus, why he took a step back. I know he was doing a lot of business things on the side. He was getting his own money on outside of things. He was getting his money in ventures outside of boxing. So he might have just been building up on that, focusing on that. But it hurt my soul a little bit that he took that time off, because me personally, I think the loss to Coco Diaz wasn't a big deal. Yes, he did lose, but everyone who watched it, we all know that Tevin Farmer did not look like Tevin Farmer. And I think if he would have just got back on the horse, got back on the wheel, built up a win streak, at this particular point, rather than fighting someone like Mickey Bay, he would be in conversation to fight some of these young guns who think that they're the best. You know what I'm saying? Obviously Teofimo Lopez, he moved up to 140, but I think Tevin Farmer can fight at 140 as well. But right now he's still staying at 135. But we could have still been talking about the Gervonta fight. We could have possibly talked about a rematch with Coco Diaz after that loss to Devin Haney. Who knows? Maybe Devin Haney could have been eyeing him. George Kambosos versus Tevin Farmer is a fire fight. Those styles, dude. Those styles, that's crazy. And I think Tevin Farmer beats Kambosos because his defense is too crazy. But the old Tevin Farmer, I don't know how he's going to look now. I don't know what the time off is going to do for him. If it's going to help him, or if it's just going to, by the time never ends. So, or never loses, I should say. But with that being said, all that being put out in the atmosphere, man, I'm still very, very happy to hear that he's coming back, because I still think there's room in the 135 division and 140 division if he does decide to move up, where he can get some big fights and he can possibly show the world how great he was and be on a platform big enough that he wasn't on before. And a lot of people didn't know, because if you guys don't know, when Gervonta was like really making his rise up, in the sense of nobody knew about him, but everyone knew about him because he was associated with Floyd. The biggest rivalry at that time, it's probably like 5 or 6 years ago, it was Tevin Farmer and Gervonta. So everyone was like, we need to have this fight happen. We need to have this fight happen. They were going back and forth. Supposedly they were in the works, and then Tevin Farmer, he got shot in the hand, had to take some time off. When he came back, he looked phenomenal. But then when he came back, that's when Gervonta kind of started eking his way to be the next pay-per-view king, and they were building that around him. Tevin Farmer went with DAZN, and so that right there was already a bad business move, in the sense of DAZN and PBC being able to work something together where Gervonta and Tevin can fight. So that kind of killed it. But if you guys know, and if you really know, Gervonta Davis, his first real rivalry was Tevin Farmer, and that was a fight everyone wanted to see and speculated to see if that was the guy to beat Gervonta. But with all that being said, all that being put in the atmosphere, let's go ahead and get into this reaction video. Let's see what he has to say. Obviously, I'm not surprised Tevin Farmer is now in a position where he's like, hey, I would love to have Gervonta Davis fight again now. I just don't see it making sense on Gervonta's side. We might have to see, because I don't know if Tevin Farmer is still with Matchroom. I don't think he is. I think he might be doing his own thing, because the way this Mickey Bay fight is being promoted, it's very underpromoted. It seems a little bit lower level than I'm used to with him, but you got to have a comeback fight, right? Excuse me. So let's go ahead. Let's get into this reaction video. Let's see what he has to say. And let's dig deep into this. Let's go.
I gotta get your reaction on Canelo versus Bivol. I gotta get your reaction on it.
Great fight. Bivol did his thing. I feel like he was just too big for Canelo.
Did you see it playing out that way beforehand?
No, I actually didn't. I haven't really seen Bivol fight too much. I just didn't want Canelo to lose, so I was automatically going for him, just being biased. But I just feel like size played the matter. I don't feel like it was more so skill. I feel like it was more size.
In your opinion, Canelo did say he wanted to get the rematch at 175, but he was a little unsure. If you could talk to Canelo, would you tell him to stay at 175 for rematch or go back down to 168?
It's really hard to tell a fighter what to do. One thing they might be
Facts.
He did it be great, and he want to do it again. So I would just say, do what you do.
Yep.
So now
Same
that you're
thing.
at 135, man. You've been beefing with Gervonta for God knows how long, man.
Yeah.
5-6 years, goddamn it.
End goal for you to eventually get that fight.
I wouldn't say it's an end goal, no.
Yeah, I know it's not. Not at this point. Got the
But
game
I feel
too
like
long.
eventually we do have to fight. I'm pretty sure he feel the same way.
How do you see Rolly versus Tank playing out on May 28th?
I don't think he feels that way.
I just want to get fight. I'm gonna tune that. I haven't watched boxing in so long. I'm gonna tune into that.
So you don't have a winner or anything.
So that's the question. I'm like, why were you gone? Like that's the interview I want to see. I want to see the question when they go to Tevin. They say, why were you gone so long? What was the reason? You're just over the shit. You needed a break because that's how he sounds. It sounds like he just needed a break from boxing, right? And that could be a good thing or a bad thing, like I said before.
Like that.
No, I just want to go fight.
Gotcha. You said you haven't been watching boxing for a long time, so why have you been saying? I know you haven't been in the ring for a while, but why haven't you even been watching it?
Here's the question I wanted to hear.
Not something that really interests me that much. I love it, but I let it do it. I don't watch it that much.
Gotcha. At 135, who would you say is the man to beat at this division right now?
I feel like all the dudes up there are the man to beat. They all top notch.
Well, the reason why I'm asking you because I'm assuming whoever you feel is the top guy at 135, that's going to be the guy that you're going to be aiming for.
It's nobody who holds the belts. Devin Haney won, Gervonta the other three, but it's still other top.
No disrespect to the reporter because you did ask a hard question about why he doesn't watch the fights, but I'm not feeling some of these questions.
I'm not guys out there like Ryan, guys like Gervonta, all them dudes up there. They all got to be
Haney,
beat.
Kimbosas.
Yeah.
I know you're completely confident in picking up the win against Mickey Bay, but what are some of the things that you think are probably going to trouble you inside that ring against him?
Trouble me?
Yeah.
Trouble. I have to get in there and see. To be honest. Yeah, I gotta get in there and see.
So there's nothing that you've seen on tape that you're just like, hey.
No, he's skillful. He's very skillful. But I don't know if it trouble me. It may trouble the other guys that he fought. But I'm not sure until I get in the ring. We take it from there.
Can you kind of explain to everybody what happened with the Julio Diaz fight?
Yeah, I told on the jaw. It'll come out in one of my books or documentary. Then we go from there.
Granted, could you give us a little snippet in terms of why exactly the rematch?
The rematch?
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea. I just know I got effed over badly, and yeah, I got effed over badly. Politics, yeah, basically.
Was there nothing you could do in terms of?
I probably could have did it legally, but then how long do legal take? Bad though it was COVID, it could have taken years. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not wasting money just to fight for years. Even if I win, I still end up losing more money than I actually make fighting.
Well, he is at 135 now. Is that a fight that you still want, even though the title's not going to be on the line, but just for your?
It depends. If we go fight for no title, yeah, I would be there. But if I got a title, you never get the shot from me again.
Just my last thing for me.
Okay, let me. That was interesting.
I know you've been that way before, but you've been at 130, been really dominant for a really long time.
Yeah.
Do you feel that the added weight could probably be an issue for you, and coupled with a little bit of ring rust?
I feel like if I was being a guy at 35 when I was natural 30 pounds, I could be the guy at 35 when I'm natural 35 pounds.
That's Tevin Bomber for you. I will say this, because watching it, like I'm so used to usually Tevin Farmer in interviews, from what I remember, like he's very, very confident. He's very like, yo, this is what it is. I'm that dude. Da, 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 da. In this fight, he seemed a little bit more withdrawn with how he was answering his question, etc. So that's maybe why I was coming at the interview with a little bit more. But he did ask the hard question at the end, and I'm happy he did ask that. It was interesting how he responded to it. I didn't expect that response, and you can tell there was a difference in demeanor. Like he put the hands behind his head, so that means he kind of leaned back. So that means he didn't like that question. He said, "I need to get away from this question." And the first thing he said, he was going to be in his book or whatever. And then he said it was politics and legal problems, or not legal problems, but he said there was supposed to be a mandatory rematch. From what I got, it was supposed to be a mandatory rematch clause up in that thing. He was supposed to get it, and he didn't. So, look, I'm telling you right now. I've been telling you, as much as I love Eddie Hearn in the match room, he did a very big injustice, disjustice, whatever the fuck you want to say. But he didn't do Tevin Farmer or Demetrius Andrade right. He just didn't. He wasn't too savvy in the U.S. market. But I'm gonna save that for speculation. What do you guys think Tevin Farmer meant by that at the end? Legal problems, and he would have to take him to court. He just decided not to, and it almost sounds like he was forced not to fight. It almost sounds like he wasn't able to fight for the 2 years due to whatever may have happened in the. I don't know, man. This is shit weird, but. That's my reaction. Appreciate y'all. Y'all go ahead, drop it in the comments. If you didn't make it this far, I would love to, know what you guys think about that particular response, especially the very end of the video. That was interesting to me. So drop it below. Like button as always. Subscribe to the channel if you're not part of the family. And I'm out of here, Black Goose TV.